Okay, we're live.
We're live.
We're bringing it. Hey, what's going on, everybody?
5 in a row.
OSP peeps. Today, we're doing our show live at Nimio Field at Harry Grove Stadium here in Frederick, the whopping metropolis of Frederick, Maryland. Nimio's a home field of Frederick Keys and the new independent professional league team, which will be starting their season before the Keys. The Keys start, I want to say, like June 2nd, and then the independent team is, I want to say they start May 2nd. So that's pretty cool.
So they're going to have two teams.
Yeah, two teams.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, we're going to. Let me get through so let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to do today. First of all, we don't know the name of that independent team. So, hey, Andrew. Nevertheless, they're selling some merch with question marks on it, which will be worth something. Now, on to the shit we're going to actually talk about today. We're going to talk about recent events in the world of sports, fighting with fans, illegal hits, some aggressive moves, what's going on with Draymond Green, bunting from Toronto, and hockey. We're going to look at player-fan confrontations. If anybody saw the Russell Westbrook confrontation at the half a few days ago. Talk a little bit of NHL playoffs, some attendance stuff in the NHL, a little bit of MLB attendance, studs and duds in the MLB right now. We're going to talk a little Connor Bedard, who is slated to be, I guess we would call him the next one after Crosby or after McDavid, as the coup de grace in the NHL. You're not going to want to miss this episode. We got a lot on the deck. So we're seeing, I know you said you wanted to get into the Keys a little bit. So let's go ahead and talk about that right out of the gates.
So are the Keys back as Baltimore's affiliate, or?
So they're not necessarily back as their affiliate. If Andrew could make it over, he'll tell us more about that. What they are, though, is they do have a connection. They have a connection with them now. I think there's 8 teams in the draft league, and each team has some connection with a professional team now. Whereas before, the first 2 years, they didn't really have a tie-in. They were just kind of the draft league, which is kind of like that Cape Cod league where a lot of great players comes from. This team doesn't have that, but they do have some sort of tie-in with the Orioles.
And will it be AA or AAA?
Right below triple. Right below single almost.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like rookie. It's kind of like rookie league ball. Ooh. That's where they're headed with it.
The Clarion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When they even had the Keys here as the high A team, I mean, that's where they stayed. Because I was driving Uber for a while and I was grabbing people and bringing them back and forth. You're right on point. You're right on point.
Or you can host them at your house.
Yeah.
You could host.
Well, those guys that I'm talking about were like the visiting teams. Like I remember one time taking a car full of dudes from the Potomac national team. Yeah. Which was actually kind of cool to do. I got to talk to them that night. I took Vincent to the game and they hooked him up. They took pictures with him, hooked him up with a ball, that kind of stuff.
Some nachos, free nachos.
So, no, you are pressed on them nachos. They probably don't even got them nachos in there.
Where's the ball girl at?
You guys ever have any big moments here?
Big moments, I would say
big. Like fun moments.
It was always fun to shake the keys.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was for me when Manny Machado was here.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I didn't know who he was. I was just like, he's like, yeah, that's Manny Machado. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now, look at him now. I was like, wow.
We came one night. The kids were in scouts. They had the game. They had the fireworks, and then the scouts stayed on the field. Slept on the They pitched tents, slept on the field. Oh, wow. Watched a movie that night.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh. Yeah, woke up soaking wet because of all the dew on the grass.
I remember seeing like Markakis come through here, Matt Wieters. Mm-hmm. I remember Austin Hayes coming through. Wow. A lot of those Austin dudes coming through. I think my favorite was seeing Joey Gallo come through. He played for, I think it was the Texas High A team at the time, and he played third base when he first came up.
So you're talking about I see.
That was a minute ago. Jenna was in softball. We went with the softball team to the game,
and they typically would send the guys here on rehab.
Yeah, a
to
lot of
work their way
rehab
back
guys.
up.
We've seen a lot of rehab guys come through
Yeah.
here. That's the one thing I miss about the affiliation piece of it. Like they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
They can't do that anymore. But the plan is, and I'm trying to get Attain Sports on the show, but the plan is for them to do a significant upgrade of this stadium and to bring the Bowie Bay Sox up here is what I'm hearing. Because as the AA affiliate of the Orioles. So Frederick will go back to being an affiliate at that time. I think the bottom line for that is upgrading locker rooms more than anything else. If you've ever been in their locker room, we might have more room in this tent right now than they have in that locker room. I mean, that's how they're small.
Bowie's a nice stadium.
Bowie is a nice stadium, but
yeah,
they don't draw.
You got no draw. It's amazing because you got Annapolis, you got DC, you have PG, you have Baltimore's not too far away, but they're going to go to Orioles. But you got the area though.
With the Bowie Stadium, like when you look at their numbers,
Right
they
off 50.
still might outdraw them here with this draft league team. Like people don't go to those games down there; they just don't.
Yeah, I think it's also I mean, it's baseball in itself. How many people actually go to watch it? Let's be real. I mean,
Yeah.
And then,
Well, let's say how many black people go to see the game.
I mean that is.
And you're in Bowie.
Yes.
So I mean, let's just be honest. Yeah, like I mean, I grew up loving baseball. It just seems like now
it's not. I mean, yeah.
you're not getting a lot of.
It's not an attractive sport for a
it's
young
not.
African American.
It's weird.
It's just
That's
not.
where all the money is. Like that's the crazy.
I mean, look at some of the contracts some of those guys have right now.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
got that 40-year-old pitcher in Tech. What Scherzer was it? Scherzer or
Mets.
which one of them is? They're making $40 million.
Oh,
bucks.
no.
Crazy.
Arizona just dropped. What's his name?
Baumgartner,
They're
35
picking
million.
up 34 million.
Yeah.
And just cutting him loose. DFA.
Yeah,
It's crazy that baseball money.
yeah. You know the worst
And
part
I
is
don't understand how they have all that.
Yes, I don't
I
even.
can't
Me
seem
either.
to figure it out.
television.
Nachos.
Television. I guess the word of the day is nachos.
Television, but
Doesn't everybody get television?
yeah,
So what they do is they throw it in a pot and they
bigger
divvy it out.
No.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
shared.
also have your like the Yankees. For the Yankees,
well, they got their own network.
they have their own network, so
Yeah.
that's where they get their big money from. You know, a team like Pittsburgh, they don't. You know,
the
AT&T
market sharing
Sports.
is not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not equitable.
You know, I mean, it just and
Well,
there's
they say it.
there's always going to be a huge fight in baseball for the most part, unless you have the right people running your organization. There's always going to be that fight for a salary cap,
Yeah.
Yes.
and the players don't want it.
Of course they don't.
Yeah.
But I think it'll make
It makes it
baseball in itself more attractive,
right.
because everybody will be on a playing field.
Right.
You know, as much as we say we don't like parity, but we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to watch Kansas City win the Super Bowl again this year. I don't necessarily want to see Colorado win the Stanley Cup.
I
But
don't
those
see the
two-
Lightning back in it. No.
Yeah, but those teams all have salary cap structure they have to work under, and then you get to a certain point where those guys are like, oh, we can't afford to pay those 6 superstars now, so we've got to let half them go, or whatever the case may be. You know, the unfortunate piece for a team like Pittsburgh or Cleveland or, you know, even like a Minnesota, the market's not huge. And when you get that guy that becomes a superstar, you got to pick and choose if you want to keep him.
You got a team like Tampa. They're in it every year.
Yeah, they
And
got
their
the
market's small.
right ownership, you know, right general manager. Although they don't fill that stadium.
No, they
There's a lot of
You
there's
look
a
at the
lot
attendance on that, and it's low,
there's
which
a
is
lot.
surprising. Because
lot.
I don't know, the stadium is terrible. First
It
of all.
is.
It's
It
just-
is. It's
in
right in the middle of the
nowhere.
city.
Yes.
It's in the middle of nowhere,
Like,
though.
yeah.
The Tropicana is an ugly stadium.
Just like 320 for a home run, right, or something
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
You think you could hit one?
No.
That's a poke right there.
No. Not me.
I mean, you pull hammy and do it, but you'll be all right.
You go out to second base, you might be able to hit one.
You hit one of those pinch runners,
Yeah.
hit it off the wall, get a single.
Hey,
Try.
so this is going to be interesting with this new team that they're going to have here. Almost every night of the week, essentially, there's going to be baseball here from
Yeah.
May 2nd until the independent league team is going until mid-September.
And what is that league?
So it's just it's a bunch of guys who may have played the pros and aren't playing anymore, but still have the skill to play baseball. It's a lot of AAA guys, some AA guys. There's a guy pitching for Frederick that they signed by the name of Neverauskas. He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was a reliever for the Pirates about 4 or 5 years ago.
So
which makes
that's why he never made it.
Yeah.
What kind of money?
I don't know.
Yeah.
When you're chasing a dream, sometimes money, they just chasing dreams.
Yeah.
65 and free groceries.
Listen, chasing dreams don't pay Xfinity.
Unless you get the Fire Stick, right?
They do.
I mean,
I'm sure they get a little bit of a salary, but they're not going out buying, Suburban and stuff like that.
Yeah.
they're not wearing 4 gold chains that are all 100%,
Jordans.
Yeah. I mean, you might have more money than some of them guys that are going to play here.
No joke. Yeah.
So
I ain't doing that. Sorry.
it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of excited.
Yes.
I'm going to definitely go check
You
games
talk
out.
about going to the games though. Now it's different. It's different. You don't just sit there and watch the game and keep in the book. It's all about the fanfare. You got, you take the kids over here. You're like you're watching 3 innings. You're bringing kids.
Yeah, I'll come check
You know
out.
what I mean?
Yeah, I'll definitely come
They're doing
check
the speed count. They're doing bases. They've got to spin the wheel. They do all that stuff.
Then you got
for the crab cake sandwich.
Yeah.
You got-
right over there.
Yeah.
That's what I call
they got a nice craft beer stand over here. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
it. Where's the locker room in this place?
Right there, one of the locker rooms is right there.
Okay.
What do they do? Come out around?
Yeah, the bus will be parked over here for the visiting team, and they'll go right over here. Over there, they have it blocked off for the home team.
So when's the work starting?
I don't know. It'd probably be after this season because they just got that independent team. Apparently, they have the name. They did a big contest. They have the name, and they're going to do a reveal. I can't remember when I read it's going to be, but they're going to do a reveal, and that'll be kind of cool to see.
Now, did the team from Potomac leave? They went to Fredericksburg?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
I met a guy down there. He was somebody. And he was saying, and that was when the Keys were talking about leaving. And he was saying that if they leave, then he was going to replace it with another team. So I don't know if it's this guy or not. I never got his name, but he looked important, and he was acting like he was important. So
He's somewhere.
So there's a guy.
older gentleman.
There's
Right here.
2 guys that own a company called Attain Entertainment, and they have the Keys team. They have the new independent team coming here. They own the Bowie Bay Sox. They own a professional soccer team in Loudon FC, which is a lower tier team. And there's one other sports team that they own. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Now that I think about it, that guy said he built this.
Okay.
He was the guy who was from that. Yes, that's what it was, and he had something to do with the team in Hagerstown also.
Well, the big news coming out of Hagerstown currently is that they're building a brand new stadium up there, brand new baseball sports facility, we'll call it. And they don't have a team. They lost that team. That team they don't have anything. They don't have independent league. They don't have draft league. Nothing.
Yeah.
So they're trying to attract somebody up there. It was. We saw Harper play there when he was a rookie.
He's
I remember you said
17.
you were going up there,
Yep.
yes.
17,
Yeah.
18 years old.
So that was pretty cool. I can remember a time Vincent and I went up there like three years ago. We sat on the rail for $8.
Yeah.
We sat where you had to pay attention. You will get one right in the face.
Yeah.
One of those deals. But it was fun. It was fun. I'm excited. I'm excited for this to happen. I think our next show I'd like to do, if we can work it out, we'll do it right before the game on May 3rd. We'll come out here and people will maybe join us. So let's move on. Let's go to the NBA playoffs a little bit here. Giannis is hurt. John Morant, who I've lost some respect for, got himself hurt.
He's not branding anymore.
Is Anthony Davis next to get hurt?
Well, if you want to look at the statistics, could be possible. I'm just saying, he does tend to get that.
Weird, man.
He just tends to get hurt all the time, and
This is
he's
weird.
about due.
Is it his height? What is it? He hasn't grown into it?
I think
It's
Yeah.
called
Don't
softness.
He hasn't grown into his eyebrows. That's what it
To use your phrase, he's like drugstore cotton. He
Weird.
he just
falls, and it's
Yeah,
just, it's like,
he's hurt.
dude,
I mean, it is a long way down.
break your fall.
The Clippers are hurt.
it's kind of scary to see a
Kawhi and
guy
Paul George.
who's making $30 million play about a quarter of the games that he should play every year. Can you imagine being the owner and paying that guy?
Well, that's what I saw today about Paul George and Kawhi. The amount of games that they were on the team together and how many they played was just incredibly
I don't even know if Kawhi Leonard
huge
wants to
discrepancy.
I don't think he does, but I think he likes the paycheck.
I agree. I mean,
He won that championship in Toronto, right?
And then
Yeah.
after
And
that,
he won a
and
championship. Did he win it?
no,
Um,
he won the
That's
one.
it, just
Yeah.
that one.
and he went to LA.
You know,
He's just-
I- I was talking to a guy today. I did a show with my wife at Old Mother, and he's a huge NBA fan. In fact,
Wow.
he offered us to go over to Old Mother and do a show, and I said, "We'll take you up on that." He's going to jump on the show with us too, but he's a big NBA fan, and it was interesting because he's kind of frustrated with the fact that these guys are always hurt.
Yeah.
You know, he was talking about a team like Boston.
Yeah.
Can Boston get back there? Well, let's see who stays healthy.
Yeah.
You know, like it's interesting with them. And then you got the situation that happened over in China with Beasley and who's the other dude that was with him? Beasley and Eric Bledsoe. I remember when Eric Bledsoe was in the NBA. So the situation, in case nobody's heard of this situation, the Shanghai Sharks have been disqualified from China League after being accused of fixing a playoff game. The Dragons were leading 100-96 with less than 2 minutes to go, but the visitors then committed 5 consecutive turnovers, leading to a 10-0 run from the Sharks, who eventually won 108-104 to clinch the series and go to the quarterfinals. Both teams, head coaches and GMs were banned from the Chinese Basketball Association play. So
First thing is, I'm going to put out a quote that Mike Beasley once said. This might sum everything up. I'm your favorite player's favorite player. That's Mike Beasley. That's a quote, by the way. I'm your favorite player, favorite player.
pretty
Mike-
sure.
Okay.
This is Mike Beasley from PG.
It's Mike Beasley from Watkins Mill.
Down in the village. He kind of bounced all over the place. You know?
Yeah.
And then he ended up at, like, I want to say Oak Hill Academy or whatever it was. But yes,
He's
but
still at Watkins Mill?
no, he lived in the village. He actually lived up here in Frederick.
Okay, I know who.
He
That's what I'm
actually lived
thinking.
up here in Frederick.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Then.
And his brother Leroy went to our school, Watkins Mill.
Okay.
Yeah. But they actually had a place up here in Frederick. And then he ended up at Kansas State, obviously.
Right.
K-State, yeah.
Yeah, and then was the number 2 pick in the NBA.
He came out early from K-State, didn't he?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah. But he
Yeah.
was a heck of a ball player.
But you
Yeah,
know he
well,
has issues too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I can see that. I can see that. So I mean,
They're fined $5 million
that's
won. 5 million won. So 720,000 US.
only.
That's it.
Yeah. And then not to change that subject, but you can now start to talk about this gambling thing because there was a thing today in the NFL.
Yeah.
where players
Detroit.
also
4 of them
yeah,
from
from the
Detroit.
Lions.
and one from the Commanders. That
Yeah.
got suspended. So, well,
Jameson Williams, he really hasn't played much because he was a number 1 draft pick last year. Personally, I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
I don't see how. Okay, it happened a long time ago. He's paid his penance. He should be in the Hall of Fame. There's nobody else who played baseball like Pete Rose when we were growing up. Nobody
He-
put their head to the
He was betting
grindstone.
when he was coaching, when he was managing the Reds. And that doesn't make
I
it
agree with you.
inexcusable, but
Yeah, but was he
when he's
putting,
playing.
Was he like putting you in to replacing me? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
What are you
Like,
saying?
at
What are you
some
saying?
point-
What are you saying?
At some point, you got to say, "Hey,
What are you
like,
saying?
hey, he's putting Rasheen on the bench." So, but if he wasn't putting Rasheen on the bench, was he actually cheating? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was he like, oh, like, hey, Rasheen, I'm scratching you 5 out of 10 games
Because at first,
with this guy.
he said he wasn't betting on his team, but then it came out he did. So he was doing stuff like that.
He's 80 freaking years old.
Yeah,
Put the old
man.
man
Let it go.
in the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
Yeah.
Let it go.
And if we're going down that road, which I opened that can of worms,
Barry Bonds.
I think Bond should be in the Hall of Fame.
Clemens.
Yes.
McGuire, Clemens,
And then
Sosa.
just put a little asterisk by the name if it helps some people out. Just put a little asterisk.
If it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Well, part of the problem with that is there's some old ass men who vote on this
Sure.
that
Yes.
still live in an archaic time of
Yeah.
baseball. Well, baseball ain't like that today. It's just not like that. And you got to get with the times. let's get some young writers in there. We could all vote. We put the right people in, right?
Sorry, I just got a little rosin on my hands.
You and what's his name?
Max Scherzer.
Yeah, sure. Scherzer.
So I'm not betting, but I'm going to cheat somehow.
Yeah,
Hold on, is there a camera behind me?
and you know what?
My sneaker
Vincent was like,
still on
Vincent
my
was
side.
lobbying for Scherzer. He's like, Dad, his hand was all sweaty. He had rosin on it. I said, doesn't matter. That dude had more than rosin on his hand that made it sweaty. That rosin is supposed to dry whatever you touch up.
Yeah, it's a
You
dry
know?
And then you, even if you go into cheating and all that, the betting and all that, and you go with the Astros and stealing signs and all that. Yeah. And then the next year they come back and they win the World Series again. So what happened to them? Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're picking and choosing who to forgive.
Come on. Really?
Yeah,
we just
I think if it's like you said, if they let Pete Rose in, then you guys start considering everybody else.
Shoeless Joe Jackson. His ass has been dead for years. Let him in. He earned it.
He didn't even have any shoes.
At the end of the day, you can shoot as many steroids as you want in your body, but if you can't play the game, still, it doesn't matter.
You still have to hit the ball.
You still got to make the plays. You still got to be that guy. That's how I see it. And I hear it from all of you guys. It's just ridiculous to me. So we'll see what happens. Hey, you guys see the confrontation with Russell Westbrook?
Yeah.
In the fan.
Russell Westbrook is what the guy called him.
What happened?
He called him Russell Westbrook because there's like a lounge that goes through the home team, and the visitors can go through that area, and that's where this guy was hanging out in the lounge.
He was just sitting there.
He's sitting there hanging out. He's, hey, Westbrook.
Oh my God.
And he went over to him. The guy stood up, and Westbrook kind of backed off a little bit because this guy was a little.
Well, he had somebody from the team with him there.
He wasn't going to do nothing, but
he called him an MFer?
He's not shooting. He can't shoot.
Well, I mean, that's not his game. His game is to drive.
Yeah.
That's his game.
His game was to dish it off.
Get to the rack. That's
Remember
his
when
game.
he was going game after game with triple doubles when he was in
and that's his game.
OKC?
Yeah.
He'd score 10 points, but he'd dish off 15 passes and he'd have 12 rebounds.
That's his game. If he's
know,
got to be the scorer, you're in trouble.
Did you guys see? Did you see when they were playing the Lakers? I guess it must have been toward the end of the season.
Juicy.
And he made a shot and he turned to LeBron and he gave him the finger. And then a little bit later during that game, LeBron had the ball. He was out of 3-point land, wherever he was. And he saw him sitting on the bench and he wailed the ball at him right in the middle of the game. And I was like, what the hell's going on
He was
here?
3 for 19 that game. That's why that guy laid into him. 3 for 19. I mean, okay, you can't. You're not known for your shooting, but 3 for 19. Maybe start passing a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's a good all-around game. He just doesn't know when to shoot. Or, I don't know. He takes the wrong shot.
What do you think would have happened with OKC if they'd have kept him, Harden, and Durant together? That was kind of like the OG of the big three.
Yeah.
Not enough balls.
Yeah.
Pause.
They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
They just couldn't seem to figure it out. And I think they might have been ahead of their time with the big three.
Yeah.
And that knowing your role.
Yes.
That's the key.
Well, they had Steven Adams too, though, on that team.
Yeah.
He was their center. Like, he's pretty freaking good now.
Yeah.
He's kind of transcended
not
himself.
Enough balls, but not enough. They all were the key person on that team.
Yeah.
They all wanted to be the
You
key.
gotta know your role.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Do you want to win or do you just want to go for self?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, let's pop over to the NHL. A lot of stuff going on. I know Watson's not a big NHL guy. I did send him some info, and it's okay, Waddy. We got you. We'll carry you a little bit. One of the first things I want to talk about, though, is recently they've been talking about Connor Bedard, who has had a tremendous youth career. I mean, the boy's 17 years old. He's going to be, like I said when I did our open for us, he's slated to be the next one. And but he had 100 and I forget how many points he had this year. He had 100 and what was it, like 175 or something. Yeah. But the bottom line was he wasn't the greatest player to play at that level. Mario Lemieux, 1 year, had 133 goals
Yes.
and ended up with 282
Yes.
points in 70 games in 83,
Yes.
84.
Yes.
200. Can you imagine?
Different game, but still, yeah.
Well, you said you're
Listen.
comparing him to McDavid. McDavid only had 15 points, whereas Bedard had 31. 13 goals for Bedard and only 4 for
When we say
McDavid.
okay, so when we say next one, what's that mean?
Well, I guess we're always comparing
Are we
to
forgetting
Gretzky.
So like we're forgetting the Hughes,
The Hughes
Heishers,
boys, yeah.
We're forgetting all of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. I mean, the one Hughes kid had a tremendous year. He's the first New Jersey Devil to ever score 100 points.
Right.
Did you know that?
Yes. I did. Yeah,
First one. And New Jersey won all those Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
You remember how dominant they were back in the 90s?
Yes.
They were just so dominant. But they played left wing lock. You weren't getting through center ice. You know, the blue line wasn't as significant then.
Yep.
And it's
Because it was 2-line pass. You had to merge through there. You couldn't just.
I mean, listen, McDavid is going to be the one for years to come. I mean, do you watch that guy?
I do.
He
He's
had
a tremendous.
153 points, 64 goals this year.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
They had how many guys get 100
82.
points? It was like
He's the
that
first
looked
guy
like-
since Lemieux to get over 150.
Yes, but that looked like that
Lemieux had 6
Edmonton. That looks like the Edmonton of Gretzky, Yari Curry, Coffey, Messier. Who I mean, they were loaded. You know what I mean? So is it that same thing?
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
not
We
even
got 2
close.
guys.
When I,
They got
no,
two
I mean,
guys.
when I say is it that
No,
same
I
thing?
get you.
When I say is it that same thing with Gretzky being so great because he had Curry around him,
No,
Messier around him.
McDavid doesn't
Gretzky
have
made those guys
He doesn't
great.
have
Okay,
role players.
okay.
That's the difference.
Okay.
Watson, you understand that aspect of it. It doesn't matter what sport it is. If you're a great player, you make people great around you. Lemieux made
That's what you want anyhow.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
that's what you want.
Lemieux made Robbie Brown.
Yeah.
Robbie freaking Brown. He made
44.
Warren. What the hell's his last name?
Yeah,
Well,
Kasparaitis.
he made guys 50-goal scorers that could barely even
Ronnie
walk to the
Francis.
rink. You know, it
Ronnie
was
Francis was great.
yeah,
I know.
yeah. Don't go there.
Zarly Zalapsky.
Yeah.
How about Zarly?
He's gone, man. He passed away.
Oh wow. But
Yeah.
did Lemieux make him better?
No, he was a defenseman.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You were talking about role players. Oilers right now don't got the.
they don't have role players.
They got
They
two
split-
guys.
They used to have Draisaitl
Draisaitl
and
Oh, what's his name is good too. Draisaitl and
No, he's good. He's
Taylor.
no. Oh, Kane is decent.
Yeah,
He's
but you aren't
But,
hearing about him. Evander Kane, you're not hearing about. He had so many off-ice issues
yeah.
that his level of skill was tremendous as a winger.
Yes.
He was a big, strong
And he
winger.
moved.
Yeah, he was a left-handed shot. The whole 9 yards. But he got himself in trouble over and over again. Otherwise, he should be up there in points with McDavid and Draisaitl. I think Draisaitl is the unsung guy. And if I were Pittsburgh, again, I'm going to go down the Pittsburgh road because you all know I'm a homer. If I were Pittsburgh, I would try and figure out a way I could get Leon Draisaitl on my team to go forward.
They ain't gonna give him up. What you gonna give him?
I don't know.
The arena?
I,
We don't have anyone.
I know. That's the worst part of it.
Yeah, who you
That
I
is
mean,
that is the worst part of it.
it's not gonna happen, bro. Don't hold on to that one.
It pains me to think of that, but
Yes.
you're 100%
It does.
correct. So some of the
Lemieux's wine cellar, maybe. I give up.
some of the stuff that's going on right now, Toronto and Tampa.
Oh, please.
I like Toronto personally. And people get my one buddy's he's a big Buffalo fan. You live right there near Toronto. He hates Toronto. He wants to see them lose, but I like Toronto.
Austin Matthews.
I wouldn't mind seeing them.
Another one.
Who?
Austin Matthews.
He's going to leave there though.
I'm just saying, like we're talking about, is this back to is this the next one? I mean, we got McDavid and I kind of forgot about Matthews.
I think those two are going to take over for Crosby and Ovechkin, carrying the league.
Ovechkin not carrying the league.
No,
Well, yeah.
Matthews and McDavid carrying the league,
Okay.
carrying the torch.
Okay.
Like
Ovechkin's
Crosby and
been done for
Ovechkin.
like 20 years now.
Listen, I'm gonna make a lot of enemies on this, but Ovechkin can do one thing. He can get the top of the circle and take a one-time feed and score a goal. He's tremendous at it. But he doesn't play defense. He doesn't kill penalties. He doesn't go out on the ice for 3-on-3. He does none of that stuff. And to have him in the conversation as Wayne Gretzky is absurd to me.
I'm not putting him in that. I'm not putting him in that.
He scores goals.
He scores goals.
And that's what people want.
What I'm saying is they're
That's what
carrying
they
the
pay money
torch.
for.
They're carrying the torch for the league. That's what people want to see is this goal scorers. They want to see.
Yeah. Okay. They want to see.
And then they want to see Crosby and people who do that with their game, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if I was starting a team and those two guys were the young bucks,
No doubt.
I would go to Crosby.
No doubt.
Crosby can play a 200-foot game. He back checks. He does everything he needs to do. He not only has he has more points than Ovechkin in his career, and he's played 72 less games than Ovechkin.
And I'm glad you just said 72 less games. Now I don't know
Because that's how many you didn't
know
watch.
a lot about hockey, but a man once told me the best availability is to be available.
Yeah.
That's what a man once told me.
Thank you, Coach Tomlin.
I'm just saying.
That's my favorite quote he's ever said.
It is.
It's just
You
so
don't like
true.
Standard is the standard. You don't like that?
No. I think availability is the
Yes.
best availability.
Yes, and
I
that's
agree.
why you put Ovechkin. That's why you slide him up that scale.
So who's
Yeah,
available?
Ovechkin has missed very few games in his career.
Very few.
I'm not trying to say that he's not a
Vaca does
great
wonders
goal scorer.
for them Russians.
Ovechkin is a great goal scorer, but that's it. There's nothing else to him.
No.
But people want to see.
Yeah.
What else can he do?
It's interesting because the NHL has really taken up. They're pushing him the last few years.
Yeah.
Okay, they're really pushing him. Commercials, all that stuff, and it's okay.
And apparently, he's a good guy. From what I understand.
Yeah, he is.
He's the new Brett Hull.
Listen, you really, that's what I've always said. He's Brett Hall. You rarely see hockey guys put themselves in situations.
You remember when he first came on the scene? He was driving like 200 on the beltway.
Well, so did Yager.
He's driving like 200. He got his
So did
sports car
Yager.
going. "Wah."
Hey, Yager's the only 50-year-old guy I've ever seen with a six-pack still.
Oh, wow.
And I'm
Yeah, I
not
got
talking
a
about the one you're
six-pack
carrying
right
around. I'm talking about
Hey, come on.
that
I got
dude
a
is.
six-pack.
Hey, he's like Yager's like 53 years old, still playing professional hockey in Czechoslovakia
Oh, wow.
and Kladno.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing to me. I can barely get out of bed sometimes at 57, and that son of a gun's still doing his thing.
Still playing video games? Remember
I'm
they used to
sure
catch
he
the
is.
arcade?
I remember.
Full of quarters.
I remember watching him drive up. What is that? Not Fifth Avenue. He'd drive up Fifth Avenue going about 175 miles an hour, lock up the brakes, and turn into the Civic Arena. You know,
So who
he
we
was
got in the
crazy.
finals?
Huh?
Who we got in the finals?
I got the Lightning
You got the Lightning?
and the Avs.
Interesting. How about Watson? Don't know enough. Who you got?
I think Boston. I know they're tied 1-1 right now. I think they're going to win. And, you know,
How about the Islanders?
They're going to be going.
and
They're on the edge. Rangers.
I like them.
Rangers
I
are
like
up
the
2-0.
I like them. They have a great team.
I don't
They're
know
up
who I
2-0.
got in the West.
They got some firepower over there.
Rangers are up 2-0. Out west.
Rangers, that was a good pick, actually, because they were that close last year.
Rangers, they got some
And
talent.
and they got some key pickups too.
I'll tell you what.
Maybe the Rangers, but I think Boston, just because
I just
how
think-
dominant they were.
I hear that.
And that
but-
could be the jinx of it.
exactly.
That could be
That's
the
what
jinx
I'm
of it.
thinking.
Well,
But I just think they just blew through teams in the
But the
regular
playoffs
season.
are
And I
so
know
good.
it's unique and dynamic in its own.
unlike most sports, NHL playoffs are so different. When they say it's a new season, it is a
Right.
new season.
It's
You
like-
play a completely different style of hockey.
It's like you might as well just start the season in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's right.
Yeah.
The West, I don't know. Avalanche didn't seem to be tough against
Gotta guess.
who are they playing? The Kraken.
What's up, homie? Yeah.
The Kraken. That talk about a turnaround. They won like 25 games last year. This year they won like 46.
Yeah, they were
They
pretty
had
good.
over 100. They had
They have
about
a bunch
100
of Penguins
points.
on that team. You know that,
Yeah.
right? Two of their
Tanev,
top guys.
is Tanev on there?
Tanev and what the hell's his name? They should have never traded him.
Yeah.
They should have never traded him.
Tanev
How,
was
buddy?
phenomenal.
Jared McCann.
Yes,
Jared
McCann.
McCann. Yep.
Yeah.
But you know what? They might have cut their nose off in spite of their face. Last night, they went up 2-0 against Colorado, and Tanev blew a kiss to the crowd after he scored a
I
shorty.
saw that.
And
And they ended up losing.
that was it. Colorado got heated, and that was it. They just start scoring
I know
goals.
we're not Oilers. I mean, I'm not high on the Oilers, but I think they might beat the Kings. I'd like to see the Kings win, but I think Oilers might take them.
Well, I will say
they bounced back fast.
the Kings are a big team,
Yes.
a big, fast team. I could see them easily beating the Oilers. What do you think?
I could definitely see the Kings winning. I hope the Kings win.
You don't like McDumdum?
No, I don't. That would be an upset.
Yeah.
Definitely an upset.
There, you know, going back to, he can slide himself in if you want. The thing with the Bruins, Terry, they got outplayed by Florida the first game.
Yeah.
They got beat by Florida the second game.
Okay.
And they're going back to Florida tied 1-1. That puts Florida with the advantage.
Okay.
You know, I don't think you can contain a team that can roll 4 lines at you. Now, Boston was a good team, but I don't know, like, if you can continue to roll in the postseason the way they rolled in the regular season.
Marchand, Bergeron, like all those guys.
Yeah.
But I think, I was
My favorite part
sleeping
about
on New York just
Marchand
because
is
my friend lives up there, and he's always, when the Pens are out, he's like, Pens fans for Rangers. I was like, nope, not doing it. But I think they can make a push this year.
it's going to be interesting. I'll say Canes, the Hurricanes get there. I think that's who's going to beat the Islanders. I think they
They're
have
wild card 2, weren't they? Or wild card 1? No, they were
who, the
1.
Canes? No,
They were 1 and Florida's 2.
Islanders were one of the wild cards,
Islanders was wild card spot 1.
and Florida was
Florida's
wild card
2.
spot
Florida's
2.
2.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see the way that all plays itself out. I'm going to go Canes, and I'm going to give you a dark horse. I'm going to go Minnesota Wild.
Whoa.
I'm going to go
With
Minnesota Wild.
Fleury?
So Fleury and Billy
Fleury?
Guerin is their GM, and Billy Guerin as a GM, he brings a whole different element. He built their minor league team while he restructured their big team.
There you
Andrew,
go.
what's going on?
There you go. Look
You
at
got
the-
5 minutes of time for
Look
us?
at the Young Bucks.
All right. How's everything going? Guys, this is Andrew Klein. He's the GM of the Keys and the independent team.
Both teams.
Shit, Andrew, no wonder you're busy.
Yeah, playing for a lot of baseball.
Yeah, how's it?
Guys on the field right now.
How's it going with restructuring
Need someone
everything?
to
It's
do
like
soft
kind of getting that other team.
Going good. I mean, a lot of work, a lot of hours this offseason. But
Do the guys in the independent league also search for houses, or are they making enough money in the independent league to live on their own?
we're providing housing for them.
Oh, that's
Oh, wow,
nice.
that's nice.
Yeah, we provide housing for all the players, both leagues.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What's the expectation?
In terms of
Like overall, now are they planning on upgrading the stadium? Because that's what we keep hearing.
yeah, we are. I mean, it's long-term stuff. We've been doing a lot this offseason. I don't know
Yeah.
how much you would be aware of
Yeah.
so far. Actually, so this offseason, we brand new playing surface. We
Yeah.
replaced the entire field right after last season. We have put a brand new sound system in the facility this offseason.
I saw that.
We've put brand new front gates, wrought iron gates instead of the chain link stuff. We've done some improvements on the upstairs club level area, flooring, ceiling, all that kind of stuff on the outer part of it, just pretty it up. We've got a couple permanent structures. Our courtyard tent is gone, and we're putting a permanent structure there. Our merch tent's gone. We're putting a permanent structure there. That's what they're working on that side right now. The clubhouse itself, we've added a ton of lockable storage, some new lockers.
Are they going to expand the clubhouse at all?
It's going to be a need at some point. We aren't able to do that quite yet.
No.
No.
No game tonight. Not tonight. The 2nd of May will be the independent league opener.
We're not a farm team currently, so we have 2 teams. We have a new team in the Atlantic League, which is independent baseball, and then we have the Frederick Keys still, which is in the Major League Baseball Draft League.
Come on out and check them out.
So,
You won't go wrong.
are they going to be getting a name yet? Do we know yet?
There will be a name.
Frederick Fury.
We got 5 finalists.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is Fury one?
is not.
It's like real frogs.
Screaming llamas,
Screaming
Screaming
alpaca.
alpacas.
alpacas.
Yeah. So,
What are you doing extra to draw a fan base?
I mean, like I said, we've been doing a ton of the improvements in the facility, and then really just doing our standard reaching out to people
PR,
in general. We're going to see a huge marketing push in the next few weeks. We've been doing our internal stuff, but I know our proper radio, TV, all that kind of advertising is going out.
Fireworks.
25 fireworks shows.
Right.
Yeah. First fireworks show is
might be the Pirates.
And nachos.
No,
We got
not
nachos.
this year, baby.
yeah. The first fireworks show will be on the first Saturday game in the Atlantic.
Okay.
That's the 12th and 13th.
Okay.
There you go, fresh jalapenos.
Andrew, you got Baltimore involved with the Keys again. What is that like? How does that work? What do they actually tie in?
So we have what's officially called a community partnership with them. So I was able to get in touch with through Kent Qualls, who oversees their minor league system, and I had a relationship with while we were with the affiliation. I connected with their community people, and so last year was the first year of that partnership. They were able to host a play ball weekend event here at the stadium. That was the first thing we did officially with them under that. It was 250 kids from our community were able to come out. They brought some alumni out, the bird. They gave them some gear, all that stuff.
Yeah.
We were able to have that event as the kickoff to the partnership, if you will. The bird came to Quixote's birthday last year at the game for the stadium. I was able to speak with them, and they provided us with 1,000 of their Cedric Mullen bobbleheads last year for
that's
the giveaway, as well as 1,000 of their Hawaiian shirt giveaway. So we gave those out to our fans at games after they had gone out already in Baltimore. And then we also were invited to their minor league weekend at Camden Yards at the end of the year. So Quixote was out there with all the other affiliate mascots.
That's pretty cool.
So we were able to do all that this year. It's definitely continuing and getting stronger. I was already when the Orioles caravan came to town, they allowed us. I was there with Quixote at Frederick Community College. We had the event there. We were right at the front doors to greet people before they got to the players. So we were doing that. It looks like we're working with them on a community initiative that should take place near the end of June. So I'm excited about that. We're still ironing out all the details on it, but they're going to include us along with their affiliates and some other communities they work with.
Long term, is it to get an affiliation team back in here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, long-term plan is affiliated baseball. Everything that we are doing is we are actively looking at the PDL license and everything that goes with the requirements of the PDL and making sure that we are not only hitting those requirements, but exceeding them so that we can get back to affiliated ball.
Andrew, what'd you draw last year for the draft league? Do you know?
I believe it was just over 157,000.
That's insane.
40-game home schedule.
That's pretty insane, though, if you think about it.
Last year, we came up just a couple people short per game of our pre-COVID, whatever you want to call it, average. Obviously, it was 40 games as opposed to 70, but the community has always been on our
That's how
side.
many games?
It's 40 games for the draft league compared to 70 with the Carolina League back in 2019.
Okay.
But there's going to
here.
be
We'll have 40 Frederick Keys games here. We'll have 48 Atlantic League games here.
So you got
I've
88 games.
baseball games in 131 days.
Need some summer help?
That's what I was about to ask myself.
Yeah, we just had game day staff orientation last night, so I know we've got a good chunk of those people, right? But there's always a chance that we have more needs.
Okay.
I know I'll be at every game, so I'm giving my staff some of the games off, but I will be at all 88, assisting as
That would be fun.
Yeah. So May 2nd through September 10th, I believe. Is the two.
So the wear and tear on the facility, that upgrade is definitely needed, and that's typical for what an MLB team is
we
running
actually
too. 80,
have, what is it?
80
Like
something.
7 more games than an MLB facility would
Yeah,
have, or home dates.
That's
And that's about as far as you can push it
exactly.
in terms of games on the field without just completely destroying.
Exactly.
I think that's pretty phenomenal that they are actually, or that Attain Entertainment has actually wanted to put 2 teams in here to get so much baseball because, we know each other pretty well. And I mean, he's here all the time, whether I'm bringing him or not. And, you get the fan base and you offer some. Only thing I want you to do is I want you to get the, what is that, Cowboy Monkey Rodeo back. Can we do that? Is there any chance?
Obviously, it went away. I will say, Tim Leopard, the gentleman who ran that and does all that, he has gone into as far as I know, at least a semi-retirement, if not a full retirement.
Yeah.
Last I was told, he spent about 300 days on the road doing that.
Wow.
Between baseball facilities, actual rodeos, other facilities. And when I spoke to him the last time he was here, he was like, "Yeah, my daughter's getting ready for college. I kind of missed all of that, so
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to start taking a step back."
That was one of the most fun things. I never laughed so hard in my life. My whole family came with us, my wife and I, to that game, and I laughed. If you've never seen that, it's just so insanely funny.
Cowboy
So-
Monkey Rodeo.
Well, thanks for your time, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Last thing, in case you were unaware, as of last night around 7:30 or so, we got a brand new lease approved, so we will have baseball here long term.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
This was the last year coming up on that lease, right? Or 2
we
years
had
from now?
One more year on our lease. It was a weird lease just in a couple of ways. It was with the previous ownership that was on its way out at that point, and then there was also some COVID stuff put in because of losing the 2020 year. But the lease that we agreed to and was voted unanimously by the Board of Aldermen last night at City Hall. It's a 10-year lease.
Oh, congratulations.
With 2 5-year options after it. So it could be potentially up to
20 years.
Oh, wow.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's one of the first steps on being able to get all the improvements.
Absolutely.
Knowing
Absolutely.
that everyone is invested long term goes a long way in terms of being able to then get those bigger projects moving.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that,
Yeah, that
actually.
was exciting. I spent a good half of my day over at City Hall yesterday between the meeting itself and meetings about the stadium and potential improvements and everything else.
I owe you a beverage at Alive at 5. Thanks for coming and joining
One of
us.
these days I'll get there.
Yeah.
I didn't start yet, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Nice to meet
Thanks,
you.
Andrew. Take care.
Yeah.
Best of luck on the seasons. Well, that was pretty cool. I'm glad he got to come over and see us and talk with us a little bit. Let me go. Let me see where we are here. I was looking at baseball attendance, you guys. I don't know if you heard, but the Oakland A's, purchased a sizable chunk of land in Vegas. They're out of Oakland, and it'll be 60 years since they have had a professional organization, sports organization in Oakland once they leave there. And you'll have the Raiders and you'll have the A's there, and then you'll have the Vegas Knights.
Yeah.
So who's gonna be Oakland now?
Nobody,
Nobody.
no team in Oakland.
I don't think Oakland deserves a team anymore.
Why is that, son?
Because it's Oakland. Nobody goes there.
Okay.
Oakland's very nice.
It's also right across.
Frisco.
Yeah.
From San Francisco.
So
Yeah.
I mean, they still have. There's something there.
Yeah, but Oakland fans are not going to become Giant fans.
No.
No,
That's not going to happen.
I mean, they were in the
No.
what World Series together, right?
That's not going to happen.
I remember that. That was the '89
That was the
earthquake
The
series.
earthquake series.
Yeah. How many of you guys remember that series? Yeah, I remember
That was
that.
the Bash Brothers.
That was yeah, I remember that very, very well. That series. So their attendance was only based on 2023, the first 10 home games, 11,382.
I wish they would tell you how many the place holds, but
Well, okay, so the Pirates are at 16,863, but I was listening to Pittsburgh Sports Talk today, and they said they had 15,000 walk-ups last night alone.
I mean, like they've made a step up from being, what's their record now? 13-7.
13-7, a game and a half out of first place.
Yeah.
If the Pirates can win, they'll go to the game.
That's a
there's no
fact.
there's no doubt about that. If they can just, consistently show that they are improving and
because they do
winning,
this pretty much
they'll
every
go
year.
to that game.
That's
They
any
start
team.
off
That's
well.
any team.
Well, I don't know
That's
about that.
Well,
Bandwagon.
I wouldn't say that. I
What
think
about what?
Pittsburgh's
That they start
dedicated.
off every year like
They are.
this.
They start
Yeah,
off
I
pretty
think
hot
they
every
will.
year.
Have you watched them?
Yes,
Have you watched them? They are exciting.
they are.
Andrew McCutcheon has brought something back to the Pittsburgh Pirate organization that they haven't had. And it's a level of energy, excitement. He
Leadership,
not only gets the
camaraderie.
clubhouse fired up,
Yeah.
but he gets the fans fired up. And he is probably, in my opinion, over the last, say, 25 years, aside from like Crosby and Lemieux, he is probably one of the most polarizing athletes, professional athletes in Pittsburgh. And I know there's some Steelers that are great, but you've always got a caveat over Ben for things he did. You
That's
always,
different now.
yeah.
That's a whole nother
But
Yeah.
I think Andrew McCutcheon really understands a community, and he really brings that Pittsburgh community together.
He said that's his role this year. It's to do that.
He has
He's not
all-star
the young
numbers.
buck anymore. He's there to bring the team together and to let these young guys know that they can do it. They're here for a reason.
He has
And
all-star numbers.
He's trying to draw that out of them. Sawinski, he's bashing the heck out of the ball right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting guys, seeing guys single. They're moving runners around.
If Sawinski hits 25, 30 home runs, but only bats 2 1/4, I'm good with that.
Hey, if you're batting
You know.
2 1/4 and you're not doing any run production, there's time for movement.
Yeah.
You got to change things up, and that's where you got to bring these young guys up. I think they have the best left side of the infield in the league. You got O'Neill and Brian Hayes.
And you know what? They haven't missed a lot with O'Neill out. O'Neill's gone for 4 months. If they're still in the hunt in August, you'll see O'Neill. But Rudy Castro, as they call him in Pittsburgh, Rudolfo Castro, he really has grown up since his issue with the cell phone last year, where it came out when he slid into third base.
Yeah.
And I was listening to somebody talk about him on a Major League Baseball network, and they said he's probably the second most athletic guy on the Pirates after O'Neill Cruz.
Wow.
He's that athletic, and he's a big guy. We saw him play at Double-A Altoona, and he could cover a lot of ground. We saw him and O'Neill Cruz as the middle infield, and between those two, it was insane. We saw Cruz make a play behind third base and throw the guy out.
O'Neill, he just looks like he's that guy that he doesn't even have to work out. I'm sure he does, but it just comes so effortlessly for him.
Yeah,
He's smooth.
I
Silky
agree.
Smooth.
I agree. All right, let's move into the NFL, because I know Watson's been dying to get into this. Okay. Let me talk about this first, and then I'm going to tell you a few things that you may not know, or you may know. I might have sent it to you. Jalen Hurts just got a huge guaranteed contract.
$198 million. Like, I think that's what it was guaranteed.
Yeah. So he's got this
$250
monster contract.
million.
And here's poor Lamar,
No contract.
who can't get a contract. Okay.
Representing himself. It's
Yeah.
not going well.
And that's, a lot of people are
Always take a
saying
joke.
the
Always
whole
take-
thing
always
is
take
because
someone
he's
with-
representing himself. It's not only the organization who doesn't want to shell out the cash for him, but these agents are like, don't pay him. Don't pay him. You're hurting my clients. Don't pay him. But here's some numbers I want to throw at you. Game started in 2022. Hurts 15, another quarterback 16. I'm not going to tell you the quarterback to the end. Hurts threw for 3,700 yards. This quarterback threw for 3,200 yards. Yards per attempt, Hurts 8. This quarterback roughly 7. Completion percentage, Hurts 66. This quarterback 67. Touchdowns, Hurts 22. This quarterback 15. And when I tell you who this quarterback is, you're going to be surprised, because this quarterback doesn't really have receivers. Interception, Hurts 6. This quarterback 5. His overall QB rating, 101 to 92. Okay, so Hurts had a 101. This guy had a 92. And this guy had almost the same amount of rushing yards as Hurts.
Wow.
Okay.
Hold on,
How many?
Hold on.
Did he have a running
7.
game?
Hurts had 760 yards. This guy had 710.
That's actually crazy.
Oh, now has this guy gotten a contract already?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about dude in Buffalo?
Nope.
No.
No.
Mahomes?
No, Buffalo?
Mahomes?
When I tell you this guy's name, you're going to be like, what the?
Mahomes.
No.
Justin Fields.
Danny Dimes?
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, get out.
The Giants quarterback had these numbers. The Giants quarterback had these numbers.
Wow.
And he cashed in.
Wow.
He cashed in. And Hurts cashed in twice as much as him.
Danny Dimes?
What he
Yeah.
get? What Jones get?
Jones got
Whenever he got it.
30 million?
about 30 million.
30 million.
Woo!
About
Wow.
$30 million.
He backed up. He backed up, didn't he? Put his mask on, backed the truck up,
Thank
and
you.
robbed him.
Yes.
Holy cow!
Who, Hurts or Danny Dimes?
Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
He robbed.
We're not going to
Wait.
call him Danny Dimes.
We're not gonna call him that.
Wait.
No?
He
Like
robbed
Matty
them.
Ice. Remember we did that whole thing started, and he ended up stinking.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Wait,
That
he
was it.
robbed them? Did Hurts rob them?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
You
they
don't
have
think Hurts rob him? I
Wait,
do.
how
You
can you
saw
say
that.
they both didn't hurt? To look at the numbers.
I'm paying Lamar before I'm paying Hurts because Lamar's done it. He's been a league MVP.
And also, think about what's around Hurts. Same with anybody on the 49ers.
Well, you got to look at
You're
the
right.
body. You got to look
You're
at
right.
the whole body of work here.
Yes.
That's what you kind of look at. And Danny Dimes, before that, before last year, he wasn't very good.
No.
He was not very good.
No.
That's what's scary. He was not very
He
good.
didn't get that good the next year.
So that's
Numbers.
that's Hurts' second contract. That was his rookie contract he's coming out of. Right?
Yeah.
Well, rookie contract.
He's
So
only-
is this Daniels Jones's.
This is
this-
both
this-
their
The Jones has been playing for like 4 years.
Yeah,
years.
and
That was
Hurts-
only Hurts' second
Yep.
year last year.
Yep.
Do numbers
So you're looking
lie?
third, second.
I don't
think
think
that was
numbers
his second.
lie.
Numbers don't lie. Do they lie?
Yeah, but
It's like the eye in the
No.
sky. The eye in the
No.
sky don't lie. It tells the truth.
Numbers are numbers, but
It's hard
I
to.
think-
Here's the thing.
He did go to the
I
Super
want you
Bowl.
to think
Playing
about
against
this,
the
though.
same competition too, actually.
Numbers
They're
don't
the
lie.
They're in the same division.
Are we just talking sports? Because listen,
No, I
Eminem sold more records than Jay-Z.
Eminem's way better.
Man, Eminem's a guest, man. That's all he'll ever be in the hip hop.
You gotta be kidding me.
He ain't
You're
better than
nuts.
I'm
Nas.
with him.
He ain't better than Nas. Yeah, no.
Why? Because Jay-Z's married to Beyonce?
No. You wanna know why?
No.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when back when I was riding around picking up my homeboy, he never got in the car and said, "Hey man, put on that new Eminem." Never. Nobody I know. Nobody I ever know. Hey, anybody from the Homewood town section of Pittsburgh, let me know if you're in the Eminem. I guarantee you, they're gonna be like, man, they might want to fight.
Oh, shoot.
That's what I'm
Coming
saying.
in.
Numbers, I think.
Why
sometimes
wasn't
lie.
Why wasn't Jay-Z playing the Super Bowl then?
Oh,
You can
He
move
wasn't
in
there,
some,
wasn't he?
pick up.
He
move
wasn't
in.
there.
He's in charge of it. You didn't know that?
yeah,
He's in charge of it.
Who?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. He was in charge of the Super Bowl. Put
Yes.
it in, the thing.
Yes,
man.
Little
Listen,
too much.
man, I think numbers
That's good,
sometimes
right
lie.
there.
I do.
No, a little bit more.
I do. I think numbers lie sometimes. I really think they do. And that's just one of my examples.
Okay, here, let me ask you this. Who was the top receiver on the Giants last year?
That I couldn't. I couldn't.
Sterling
Callaway?
Shepard?
Is it
No,
Callaway?
it's probably the running back.
Was it Shepard?
It's probably the running
Does
back.
he play for them?
Slayton?
still?
Saquon Barkley.
It's probably Barkley. Yeah,
Barkley.
it's a running back. Had to be.
Was it Slayton?
Who was the top receiver on Philly last year?
AJ Brown.
And who was the number 2 on Philly? Smith.
Devontae Smith.
Smith.
And who was their tight end? Ertz.
Ertz.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Zach Ertz.
When he's not hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, guess
Ertz.
what? You can't name a receiver. You named a couple of guys, but I don't even know if they even played last year.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Who's the tight end for the Giants? You know?
Oh,
Daniels.
I have no idea.
Something like that.
No
Chase
clue.
Daniels?
Shockley.
Like that.
No
man.
idea.
Yeah,
Shockley.
But
there
he
you
was
go.
decent.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay.
But at the same time, though,
They have tight ends.
how can I still give that man the same amount of money?
He's not getting the same amount of money.
Well, you know,
Hurts is making almost $20
Yeah.
million more than him.
I get So
Jackson should be making that money.
McCaffrey
Yes.
makes more than.
Who should?
Jackson.
Yes, he should be making money.
yeah.
I
That
agree.
money. He should be in there, that range.
50, yeah.
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 But, you know,
If
and
Hurts
this
is getting it,
in my
he should
opinion,
get it.
though, and this is just my opinion, you don't have to agree with me. The system's broke because of Deshaun
Because of
Watson.
Deshaun Watson. It is.
The
It
system is
is.
broke.
It is. That's
Yeah.
true.
Once again, Cleveland has
Yeah.
fucked everything up, as they always do.
PG show,
Yeah,
so.
Can we get some nachos?
Okay. Cleveland has screwed everything up once again.
They did.
They did.
They really messed
They
it up. And now what I read this recently too, that the owners are trying to kind of put a cloud over that, call it an outlier contract.
Well, I heard they did that because to keep the Steelers and the Ravens and the Bengals down. They're keep them from not getting him, but their cap.
Who wanted him?
Who wanted him? Yeah.
Not that they wanted him, but
I'm with him. Who wanted him?
yeah.
I don't know any team that.
I never
wanted him.
thought Watson was that great. I never thought I just thought he was
Yeah.
a decent player.
If
do
you
anything
were
in
the owner,
Texas.
let me ask you this.
He didn't do anything.
If you were the
No.
owner of the
It's
Cleveland
Texas.
Browns and you're all married
Sell it.
and your wife knew what kind of guy he was based on everything she's read and everything, would she allow you to bring that guy
Well,
onto
first
that
off,
team?
He's not married. Shawn, I mean,
No. I'm
I don't
talking
think he
about
should be
the
married.
owner. The
Huh?
owner. Would your wife, would
No.
Michelle be like,
Ashley.
all right, Kevin, you can
No,
bring.
I'm bringing the dude in, but I'm saying, how do I word this?
It's an ethical thing too to me.
Yeah. I don't know how to word it.
I'm going back to what you guys said. Great players make everyone else around them better. And
Well,
he
he
never
ain't
made
great.
no one the Texans great.
No,
No,
better.
he
no.
didn't.
Never. I never seen it. So I don't.
Davis Mills has done the same thing as he has.
7 and 9.
They said Davis Mills did the same thing.
7 and
You know,
9.
they had guys like Watt, T.J. Watt or J.J. Watt. They had guys like Jadeveon Clowney when he was there. So their defense was an upgrade.
That was like 6 years ago.
Right.
Deshaun Watson was in the league 6 years ago.
Deshaun Watson was.
Was he?
He's
He just
been
never
around.
did anything. He's never done anything to.
Yeah,
Nobody
you
knew
wouldn't
he was a
know
player.
because
That money, he's never done it.
Personally, and I don't know how you guys feel, I'm glad he's in Cleveland because he ain't gonna beat the
They're not
Steelers.
gonna be. No, they're not gonna win. They don't. I mean,
You
Cleveland's
know, I
Cleveland.
mean,
They do what
Yeah,
they
I don't
Last
care
time
if you're
they beat us.
look. I don't care if you're a Cleveland fan or not. Y'all suck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Never your season.
They screw themselves one with the contract in itself anyhow. They're paying them too much money. It's going to cost them. I want to say after this year, then they got to pay that man all that money, and the salary cap for them is just they're done. They're done.
What was the contract?
200 and something.
235
Yes.
guaranteed $1 million.
He got
Yes.
6 months. Yeah.
Yes.
Kidding, right?
Before I get to the NFL draft, I got one more thing to throw out at you. The Cardinals are in disarray, and to make it look like they're not in disarray, yesterday they unveiled their new uniforms. But you got Buda Baker and DeAndre Hopkins. Questionably, their two best players on the team. One out of there, okay? Kyler Murray, Zach Ertz. They're coming off the ACL, okay? J.J. Watt, Zach Allen, Byron Allen, Murphy, gone.
The owner's under investigation.
Yeah, Jonathan
They're
Gannon.
a mess.
Who's Jonathan Gannon?
Did he long snap?
Rich Gannon.
I don't know what he did, but he's our new head coach. You know, so the owner accused of cheating,
Yeah.
discrimination, harassment. You know,
They're in trouble. They're a mess.
at the end of the day, Kyler Murray gets booed. So people don't like him out
No.
there. People don't like him, and he's the reason that they ran off Kingsbury because he didn't get along with Kingsbury, who in fact wanted him on the
Wanted him.
team.
Yeah, he wanted him. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, what do you do? What do you do?
I get rid of Kyler Murray myself personally.
If you're
start
who?
all over.
What do you do if you're what?
If you're the owner of the Cardinals, if you're the GM,
I think what
I'm
they
good
should
with
do
Kyler
is move to Las Vegas.
Yes.
I'm
Also,
getting rid of Kyler Murray. I'm
They
sorry.
still charge players for food in their
oh
facility.
yeah, that's right. That's right, Vincent.
Get rid of.
They're the only team in the NFL that charges players food.
See? And
Charges players
that
for
tells
food.
you right there, the owner itself. I mean, that tells you about it.
They
Get
didn't
rid of
even do
Murray.
a uniform.
Well, they were dangling him out there. They didn't want to give him that contract. All of a sudden, he's got the second highest, third highest
40,
like
like
guaranteed
40
Like the
contract.
Pirates last year.
He's like 4'10".
Yeah, get rid of Murray.
What the hell do you
But
want
don't know
him?
if he-
I
mean, you can.
I mean,
Look,
that's
when
not
he was
the first
coming out of
time a
Oklahoma, I
QB
didn't
got
like
rid
him.
of the,
I didn't
Well,
like
that's
him.
not the first, and it won't be
I
the
mean,
last.
Roethlisberger got rid of how many OCs? You know,
Well, he needed to come back and get rid of one more, but that's
Yeah.
a whole nother subject.
We'll find out. We'll see what Kenny does.
I already know what's gonna happen.
Allen
I
Robinson,
already
baby.
know.
What's going to happen, Coach?
so Allen Robinson.
You're gonna see the same old, same old. I'm telling you that
Yeah.
he ain't gonna change just all of a sudden. He's not. You've seen
Well,
this
look-
man for 2 years running the show. You've seen it. He ain't going to change.
Can you stop throwing that? Take the ball to the sideline.
He not.
pass? That's
He calls what he calls. He
that never.
does what
It
he
never
does.
works. It's never
You
worked.
see how he calls the
But
game.
Deontay Johnson got 100 catches. What are you talking
You
about?
see
It
how
worked.
he calls the game.
It worked.
Drop 50 of
He had
them.
100 catches for 850 yards, though.
But then when we get in the red zone, he just poops his pants. I'm sorry.
Okay. I sent you
I'm
guys.
sorry.
I know. It's okay.
I, you know,
I like the Allen Robinson signing, by the way.
Yes.
I thought
I
that
don't
was
know enough about it.
I thought it- $5 million,
Yeah.
swapping 7th-round picks.
Yeah,
And you
lose
can get-
anything.
Kevin, you
good.
can get out of the contract
Yes.
after this year.
Yes, you
So
can.
if he's some trash,
Yes.
but everything I'm hearing out of
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, there's an anticipation of him catching 60 balls. He's running out of the slot.
Yes, I did hear that.
He's
He is
running
gonna
out
get
of the
slot?
He's running out of the slot. Yep, he's running out of the slot.
Which
So
makes sense.
so he can teach the young buck coming up.
That
You know,
makes
he can
sense.
teach Kelvin Austin, hey, here's how you run out of the slot. He knows. He's 30 years old. He knows.
And I did say the whole time, I said we did need a vet in that room with all those young guys. I always said that.
He's not
So-
a post runner. I thought he'd be.
No, he was on
He,
the outside.
he can play.
I thought him and
Yeah.
he
Pickens
can play
would
inside
be on
and
the
outside,
Go Bucks.
and he's going to
And
play
have-
inside
have
in that
Johnson
slot.
and
Yep.
Austin in
Yep.
the slot.
All right,
Yeah, but
I sent you guys
All right.
every NFL team's top need,
Here
and
we
we're
go.
going to do word association. I'm going to throw a team out there.
He said word association. I don't even
And
know what that is.
God dang you, track coaches.
Must be a new teaching strategy.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay.
They do this in health class.
If
or
you
what?
are
No,
this
I don't
team,
teach health.
who are you selecting in the first round?
Okay.
Okay,
oh,
you ready?
How many minutes I got? Am I on the clock?
yes.
I get 5 minutes.
3
If
minutes.
you're Buffalo and you need a wide receiver, Coach Watson,
If I need a wide receiver,
who are you taking?
Wait,
you're gonna do it like
you got
that.
your phone? I want to see
Okay.
the list.
So if I am Buffalo and I need a wide receiver,
Not like that.
who am I taking? Okay, one,
Take a picture of it.
I
if
know.
Addison is on the board at that particular point,
Mm.
that's who I would go with.
Mm.
Because he can run on the inside,
Mm.
Diggs on the outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that makes, and they say Addison is the best route runner in the draft,
Mm.
then I would say that's who I would go with.
Okay. Rasheen, the Jets need a tackle. Who would you take in the first round?
Osiris Torrance, Florida.
He's a guard.
We should need a tackle.
They need a tackle.
Do they need a tackle?
That's their biggest need.
All right. Okay. Let me
Here's
think
the
now.
list.
All right.
Here's the list.
What else you got?
I don't know.
Oh,
He's just throwing stuff.
Skronsky?
No.
They say
Paris
he's got
Johnson.
T-Rex arms.
I'm going with Paris Johnson.
Yeah, he's legit.
Ohio
Paris Johnson
State.
Jr. Yep.
The Ohio State.
Terry,
Oh God.
I'm gonna give you a hard one.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna give you a hard one.
I need a soft toss here.
Colts
Who?
need a quarterback. The Colts need a
easy.
quarterback.
Easy.
Lamar Jackson.
Ah,
That's what they say.
I mean, hey, hey,
you're making the trade.
trade up,
You're
trade
making the
down,
trade.
trade everything
You
you
got
got.
it. Yes.
Get Lamar Jackson up in the
Yeah.
you know. I think that's what they got to do.
I agree
He's
with
out there.
I agree with you.
I'm gonna bring my son in on this.
Lamar Jackson.
Vincent,
He's not in on the screen though. You can't see him.
I know. I
He's
told him
here.
to get in here a
I
little bit.
couldn't. I can't.
I'm gonna get my son in on this. Vincent, Tampa actually needs a quarterback because Baker Mayfield is their top guy.
Oh God.
I'm going with Baker.
They need a quarterback. Who would you take?
Who's Tampa?
Yeah, Tampa.
Who's that?
Who would you take?
Tom Brady back. One more year. Run it back.
I just heard Miami's talking to him.
Yeah.
I heard Miami's talking to him. That's
Tampa.
interesting.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, dude, he's got 3 concussions in what, 2 years. He couldn't walk after 2
I
of them.
know. You're right.
And the third one they try to cover up. They got to get somebody down there to back him up.
I thought Mike White was down there too.
Tom Brady ain't coming to back anybody.
No, I'm
Goes
not
down
saying
there.
I'm
telling
not
you that
saying
right
Brady,
now.
but I think they got to get someone in this
He ain't
draft.
coming to back.
They got to get
anybody
someone in this
up.
draft
He ain't doing that.
to help him out.
I'm going to take the Cardinals. They need some defensive help. Now that J.J. Watt's gone, I'm going to go Lucas Van Ness.
Oh,
there you go.
gosh.
That's who I'm going to go there. Hey, Watson, let's go back
We
around.
didn't even start in college. What are we basing that off of?
Let's go back around, Watson.
All right.
Tennessee struggles with Tannehill quarterback.
Yes, they do.
Who you got?
I tell you what, they're the ones that should draft that the dude out of Florida, Richardson.
Richardson,
Yes.
Are you really that sold on him?
No, you know what?
Marcus
though?
Stroud.
I'm not.
Are you, Rasheed?
No.
I'm not saying the word sold. I'm saying based on.
This is a first round pick. You got to be sold.
No. I'm based on. I'm looking at how they're built. That's what I'm looking at. You add a running quarterback. You got your running back already back there.
Who's catching the ball?
You can draft that later. You can draft that.
Not
later.
everybody has that Steeler luck with drafting
Yes,
receivers.
No, you. Well, if he's
Yeah,
available,
see,
you know.
Big Ben.
Who we
No.
talking about again?
But I'm
Tennessee.
saying you can draft that later. But I'm just looking at how they're built. They want to run the ball. They're not looking to pass the ball. They're really not.
Yeah, okay.
They got Malik Willis. What are they going to do?
No, he's
That's-
going to get
that's
cut.
done with him now.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
really?
and done?
Yes.
The one hit
They're
wonder?
already done with him.
Right.
Why?
I'd be too.
Yeah.
What you mean? Why? Did you see him play?
Already?
Yeah.
He couldn't
They
even throw
are
it out
done
there?
with.
1 year?
Yes.
I thought
Wow.
the
Honest to
I
God.
thought we were high on him
I
last
read
year.
that like
Oh, yeah.
a
Coming
month
out of
ago.
Liberty.
I was.
Yeah.
They were fed up with him. Maybe he's not doing his due diligence.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, Malik Willis, let's think about it.
He
The
transferred.
guy was from Auburn,
Right.
Yeah.
and nobody wanted him. He ends up at Liberty. He puts up big numbers at Liberty in that
Yes.
conference.
And it's probably just all
They're an
off of his
insurance
play.
company.
It's not him doing his homework, and he's not used to. He probably thought he could go to the next level and do that same running around and that playground ball. Nah.
Kevin, I'm going to bet you any money that if
Young, they
Kenny
take-
Pickett were gone on the board when it came Steelers time, that Mike Tomlin would have not have drafted that guy.
I don't think it would have either.
I just don't. I don't think they bought into him. I think he'd have taken a Sam Howell. I think he'd have looked at Carell. I don't.
I don't think he would.
I think he was
They would try to talk Ben back into 1 more year.
Yeah, it was all smokescreen. I always
Were
felt
the
from me
49ers trying to get Ben?
Give me
Who was it?
last year the
That's what they said.
49ers.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't going
No,
there. Ben ain't either.
Ben can barely walk.
Yeah.
Ben can barely walk. Terry,
What?
Detroit needs a D tackle.
I need a bottle opener.
tackle.
That wind was blowing.
Detroit needs a D tackle.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
And they're picking
Detroit.
number 6.
Ooh.
Oof.
Ooh.
So are you going to go with Jalen Carter? Because Jalen Carter's on the board.
Yes. Yes.
Jalen Carter's on the board.
I'm
Yes.
taking a guy, out of Georgia.
Yes.
Jalen Carter.
All right.
So
Yes.
apparently, the Steeler organization does not like Jalen Carter.
Hey, just because he plays fast and the furious, I mean,
No,
I do not want.
I don't
Do
want him
not move up in the draft.
to get him.
No.
Yeah,
Do not
I
do
agree.
that.
What,
Right.
what would
I
you
agree.
want? What would you want? Like, there's nothing that
No.
the Steelers need to do.
I trade back. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Do not do that.
I trade back, but where am I going to? Am I going to 24?
And get
You
one.
know.
It all depends. If the guy that you really, really wanted is not
Right.
there, and then you go to that second guy that you wanted, and you know you can probably trade back and get him, and then pick up a few.
Yeah, can we get a
I
tackle?
would do that.
Can we get a
I
tackle
sip
in
my
second
cherry,
round?
maybe.
yeah, because they go like, what, 17 and
32.
they got 32 and then
That's what
49.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
We get a second. We can
They got
grab a
32,
tackle in the
49.
second round, man.
You can't. I mean,
Oh, there's plenty of guys. The kid from, you know who I want? I want the kid from
Notice.
Tennessee.
This draft
I
is,
want the kid
is
from
heavy
Tennessee.
in the O and D line.
Darnell Wright. I want
So-
Darnell Wright.
Yeah.
Not
Right
Darnell
here.
I
Wims,
know you're talking about.
but Darnell Wright.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want that kid.
Some baseball players.
I want that kid.
Okay.
I know you're talking about.
Independent league guys. Get them over here.
You can tell by the truck.
Yeah. Hey,
He got the
Racine.
two-tone.
Yes.
Let's go wide receiver for Kansas City because they lost Juju. They don't have.
They lost
know.
the one guy, man.
They lost. What's his name?
no, no.
Come on, help me here.
Juju a sellout, by the way.
Yeah.
I just have to put that out.
Hey, right
Tyreek?
there.
Tyreek.
Tyreek's 2 years ago.
That's
If you're a
awesome.
Steeler, you don't go to New England.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
wow.
James Harrison did.
Well, he's a sellout too.
Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I like him.
Zay.
I
You know
like
what
him.
they're
I heard
saying?
the Steelers were going to take him in the first round. I heard.
Steelers ain't drafting a
No, no.
receiver in the first
Not
round.
after they
We
just signed.
we might draft one in the second round, but we're not going to draft.
Just after they
Second
got
round.
him.
Third pick.
They
First guy.
comparing Zay Flowers to a
Oh, good.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
You mean the attitude?
Another
Yeah.
AB.
to play.
Okay.
Another AB.
They're comparing him on the field to AB.
Interesting.
Albert Brown.
Well,
Said
I
his
will
route
tell you.
running, they said if you look at him, they said he almost look. If you put AB's number on him and put Zay Flowers in it, they said they look almost alike.
I will
you
tell
gotta
you
put
last spring when BC
That's
was
scary.
down, because there's a kid from Northwest who went to play at
Oh, yeah.
BC. When they were down,
Caucarsville, too.
I sat there and
That's
talked to
right.
the dude. We talked about Jerkovic. He said legit. You know, he said he's legit, but he needs to come back one more year because he got that injury that one year.
they did.
He did say Zay Flowers is off the cuff. He
Yeah.
said he could run with anybody in college. No question about it.
What is that?
Where's he?
Yeah.
DC.
I think if the Steelers draft a receiver, it's either going to be the number 2 guy from Tennessee, who I like a lot, that can stretch it. Yeah. Or it's going to be Josh Brown from North Carolina. Because you know who likes him is Tomlin. Tomlin likes that kid.
That'll be the 3rd or 4th pick. They're not going to go early.
Yeah.
No, they're going to go in the second round.
What?
Shoot, we always
Third pick.
Yeah.
It could be. It all depends. No.
Yeah.
They got 2 number 2.
I don't want a receiver on the 3rd pick though.
Sit behind
I'm
this
telling
table here.
We always pick a receiver in the second round. No, you go back and look.
Second and third. Yeah, you're right. And
We did it last year.
every receiver we take in the second round has always panned out
It was
as a
Austin.
Steeler.
Austin was third
Austin.
round.
Third round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we always- It's his second.
Yeah.
Vincent.
We always do.
Vincent, I'm gonna give you another one. I'm gonna do another one. And we're moving on. Washington needs a quarterback. I know they got Sam
No,
Howell.
they don't.
You
No.
think?
Yeah. Sam
Well-
Howell-
Yeah,
What?
he's been loving Sam Howell.
I'm telling you.
Remember, you know
I
that.
do. I do like Sam
You
Howell
say
though, too.
quarter or corner?
Sam
Corner.
Howell and
Does it-
Pickett about
this
the same.
says
I'm telling you
corner.
right
Yeah,
now, they're the
corner.
same player.
Corner?
Did you watch him play?
Yeah, when Pitt played.
No.
Yeah, I did.
And then last year when Sam Howell was on the field, did you watch
Came in for
Sam Howell
Wentz.
and did you watch
Wentz.
Pickett play? They look they're identical.
They
are.
competed in ACC against each
Yeah,
other.
they're identical.
They're
Yeah,
I don't like Howell. Never have.
they're identical.
But go ahead, take him.
Cornerback. Well,
like
you're
Pickett?
doing that.
Who, me?
I'm gonna go.
You like Pickett?
Do you like Sam Howell?
He's a pick guy.
Here's the last one, and I'm gonna do this one. A need for Carolina is quarterback.
I already told you. First pick. I told you.
Which one you taking?
He's taking Richardson first.
They're
pick.
taking Richardson. Frank Reich loves that guy.
Seriously?
Yes.
Richardson?
No.
Yes.
Hey, hold on.
They
Which
need a
pick they got?
They got the
quarterback.
number 1 overall.
They traded for it.
And they're going to take who? You think?
No way.
No.
People, you gotta see Watson's face
No.
legit.
No way. No way.
We're gonna get better
There's
cameras.
no way in the world.
You guys, yeah.
No way.
Reich likes him. Reich loves
I
him.
would at least trade out of it,
Reich
and
loves
move
him.
down, get some picks.
And then go.
Yeah, and then
Actually, that young buck who's their GM is listening to offers for that number 1 overall. now.
And if that is his route and he loves that dude, that's what he's gotta do
Listen,
that.
if I'm Carolina, and you guys know I've been saying this. This is probably the 3rd show in a row I've said this. I'm going after Lamar Jackson.
Okay. Other quarterbacks, where's Stroud going? Where's Stroud going?
I don't know.
Where's Young
Second.
going? Where's Young going?
Third. Texas.
Where's Stetson Bennett going?
They're saying 5.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Listen,
With him and them.
He might be
5.
playing out here.
Yeah, he played third base for the Independent League. Listen, they're saying 5 quarterbacks in the top 10 are going to go.
5 in the top
5
10.
in the top
All
10.
right, name those 5.
Okay.
But here's the
CJ
thing
Stroud,
about this.
Hold on.
They said last year it wasn't a heavy quarterback class, and I agree.
One quarterback in the first round.
I agree. But I feel like those quarterbacks are better than the quarterbacks that are heavy quarterback class this year.
Go ahead.
Don't you think?
CJ Stroud,
No.
You
Bryce
think these
Young,
quarterbacks are better this year?
They got
Anthony Richardson,
Tangibles.
the Levis kid,
I don't think they're going to be
Herndon
better.
Hooker.
Whoa. Herndon
I
jumped
don't
that
know.
high?
you think?
Herndon's the bomb.
I tell you, and I'm
He lit Alabama up. Bama.
Yes, he did.
He's already
Not only
30
that,
though.
Not Tulane.
No, he was lighting Georgia up
Yes.
before he got hurt.
Yes.
He was.
So
He's
what-
already
what's
he's
your
already he's already like 27 though.
So what?
He scares me the most.
What is your problem?
Out of that 5 guys,
That's fine.
He's gonna be
out of
done in
those
3
5
years.
guys I just said,
He would be.
Hooker scares me the most.
Now,
Scare
I
you the
will say
most,
this.
meaning you don't want to take him, or like, oh,
If he ends
He
up
can
in
light us up.
Baltimore, that bothers me.
okay, thank you.
If he ends up in Baltimore,
That
that
could be
bothers
scary.
me.
That could be scary. That could be scary.
Maybe not next year or the year after. A couple years down the road, that boy's legit. I agree.
I've been running around with him all day.
And if he didn't get hurt, he'd probably definitely be in the top 10. It wouldn't even be a conversation. we would be
Right.
having now.
He's listed on the board of top 10 quarterbacks as number 6, but he's supposed to go in the top 5 quarterbacks picked. Kid from Stanford is on there.
That's good.
You know,
I don't
there's
see 5 quarterbacks going in the first 10 picks. I don't think I'm like
Well, Hey, what drives the league?
I understand,
It's
but
a
I don't think
quarterback.
that they're like these
There's
guys.
5 teams in the top 10.
I don't
He's a
think these
quarterback.
guys are going to
Yes.
drive the team.
Carolina,
Colts.
Houston, Colts, Cardinals,
Tennessee,
Seahawks, Lions,
Tampa.
So it's definitely a possibility.
Raiders.
Yeah.
Raiders.
Definitely a possibility.
And all those teams need. They have
They
that.
all
They
need
all
quarterback.
need it.
I will
Yeah.
tell you that.
No, you got to have a quarterback.
You're
to win.
right. You're right.
I will tell you that unless the Commanders take Joey Porter Jr., he will end up a Steeler.
Yeah.
I really believe that now.
Absolutely.
I really
And
believe
we're
that
going to
now.
start singing "We
My
Family"
fear.
again.
My fear is his
Yeah, that's all
godfather's
they-
the head coach of the Steelers.
Huh?
My fear is his godfather's the head coach of the Steelers.
It doesn't even matter. Some places have him rated the number 1 quarterback or cornerback. Some do.
I know.
If he's not number 1, he's number 2.
I know.
And
I mean, if he can bring his game, that's
and
okay.
then the one highlight I did see
Doesn't matter
of this
nepotism
kid
or not.
that nobody has really said, and somebody brought it up on one of the NFL Network channels I was watching. His arm length, they said, is incredible.
Yeah,
When he's beat,
It's like
he's not beat because he can reach that arm length out and all of a sudden get his hands on the ball. That is something that you can't teach,
Right.
you can't make. And I'm telling you,
Kevin, there's one thing. There's one thing I don't want to see from him. I'm on board with him
What's
now.
that?
I really am. I want to see him bring that fire on the field like his dad,
oh yeah.
but I don't want the bullshit off the field like his dad.
Oh,
I just You know what?
they shot me!
The Steelers are just
Yeah.
getting things straightened out now that 7 is gone and 84 is gone. They're just getting things settled. They never win Super Bowls when they have bullshit hovering over them.
No,
Le'Veon
you're right.
Bell, all that
Classic,
crap.
dude.
You're right.
I got this, Bussy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's
But
classic.
But you do need somebody that has.
You need some knuckleheads.
Yes,
You
do
need
have to have
knuckleheads.
you have to have. You call a knucklehead. I call it a dog. You got to have a dog.
And he's usually the one
On the
from hood.
field. I
On the
want
field.
the dog on the field. I don't want to read. I don't want to open up
Not Facebook
the
Live,
internet
not FaceTime
and
Live,
read
whatever
about
the hell
some
they
dumb
call it.
shit that Joey
locker
Porter
room.
did
I got
in Permanis. You know?
Yeah, I get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
listen,
I get that.
I loved everything about Porter, man. He whooping tail before the game. You know what I mean? He was getting shot up in Denver. And I love everything about Joey Porter, man.
I didn't
got
dislike
the bus.
Porter.
They shot me in Denver. That's classic. They went on and won the Super Bowl. They won it.
They did.
You
They
remember
did.
that in the Super Bowl?
They
You remember
did.
that in the locker room?
You did.
Menace is talking. Hold on, I got this, Bussy.
Yeah, it did. It did.
And listen,
It did.
who ride? We ride. Who ride? We
Yeah.
ride. Yeah.
I
Come
know,
on,
I
man.
know.
We don't got none of that now.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I want that on the field.
Hey,
I
if-
just
if
don't
we don't
want that
finish this-
shit off
If we
the
don't wrap
field.
this up, I'm going to need a ride.
Shit. Hey, anybody going to the Frederick High Wheel race? You ever go to that
no.
bike race?
Yes, downtown.
Yeah.
I got a
Yes.
pint.
Yes.
I got a pint glass from there though.
I did.
Uh-huh.
We
Yeah.
were little.
Frederick High Wheel race.
Yes.
It's a huge
The
thing.
bikes are big.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. It's the 9th annual Clustered Spires High Wheel race. I highly recommend you check it out if you're in the Frederick area. I got 2 things, okay? Number 1,
When is it again?
it's called the Frederick
July
High Wheel
15th.
race.
Oh, okay.
July 15th.
Right there.
Oh,
They shut down the town. It's pretty cool.
I seen a boy wipe out.
oh, yeah.
You know what that reminds
Wanna
me
have
of? I used to have a big wheel. I'd ride it down Chestnut Street, and Graham and Pat would be sitting there saying their prayers because I was like, cars were coming this way and I'm going this way. I had my big wheel. I got the little.
Hey, you remember
Little
that Christmas?
Yeah.
Check this
Yeah,
out. Y'all know
yeah.
my mom.
Explains a lot.
It does.
Y'all know my mom, right? My Irish Dago mom.
Yeah.
This one time at Christmas, we were at his house. My mom was lit. She was lit. Okay, she was lit. She was probably in her 60s. She freaking jumped on his big wheel and started riding down the street at Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, she was crushed. Mind you, my mom was about 4'9" now, but she might have been pushing 4'11" then. But she jumped on this big wheel and she's rolling down the street. We're like, oh damn.
I had the brake on the side too.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, remember when Graham hit that thing and did that little spin
Oh,
thing?
my God.
Yeah.
Who had a grain machine?
I didn't have a green machine. Yeah, my dad
Oh,
was not down with me having
that
a
was
big
too
wheel
much
or a
work.
green machine.
That's why you are.
Yeah. I had a wooden skateboard that was like this long.
You also had a what was
I
that?
did have to think.
You were playing with yesterday.
Yep.
What?
That thing at the escape room. What was that?
The thing at the escape
The
room.
toy that makes music.
I can't remember.
Kazoo.
Jeez.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey, you get an hour to sit down and talk with any athlete in the world, ever.
Candy pick it.
I'm talking about somebody who died, somebody who's living. Terry, who are you talking to?
Who am I? Right here. 21. It's
Roberto
backwards.
Clemente?
Roberto Clemente. And the reason why, because I was in the live when he played, but I feel like my dad talked about him. You talked to everyone who lived when he was playing, talked about him so much. I feel like I could see him play. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. But besides him playing, his humanitarian, like what he did for the community, not just Pittsburgh, but around the world. I feel like that's what we're here for, is to live up to serve other people.
He
And
had a
did
ministry.
that.
He had a ministry.
He had a heart, a ministry, and he just inspired me. And I didn't even know the guy. He wasn't, unfortunately, around whenever I was born, but or actually, he wasn't. But
No, I remember when
I
he.
just would
I
love
was-
to sit down and talk to him.
Sitting watching morning cartoons.
I was. You know the story, son.
You're-
6 years old. It was, right around New Year's Day, whatever it was. And I remember sitting
Yeah,
there
New Year's
watching
Eve.
cartoons, and a special announcement came on the TV that he was lost at sea. They didn't know his plane went down. And I went upstairs. I woke up my parents. I was crying. I was 6 years old, and I knew who Roberto Clemente was and what he meant.
I mean, like, stories about him throwing guys out. He's in the right field, at the wall, line drive, throw to home plate, throwing people out.
Yeah.
And now I see guys two hopping it. And I'm like,
Damn.
man, that was a nice throw. But not Clemente. My dad, that's
Not Dave
constant.
Parker, not Clemente.
Yep.
Dave Parker was a beast, wasn't he? Woo. Watson, you could sit down for 1 hour and talk to anybody, any sport, anybody in sports.
Muhammad Ali.
Ooh,
No doubt.
interesting.
Yeah. All the stuff that he went through with
Yeah.
his beliefs, and then just being ostracized out of the boxing for his beliefs. That wouldn't happen today.
No.
But I believe that's because of what
Things
What
he
he
did.
did.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
What he did. You ever been to his museum in Louisville?
I have not.
So we were in Louisville years back when Jenna played softball. We had to go there for a tournament. And we attempted to go to his museum, and it was closed the Monday we were there.
Yeah.
I was so sad. I have a nice Muhammad Ali t-shirt I like to wear.
Mm.
Rasheen, you get one person to talk to.
Wilt Chamberlain. What were you saying to the ladies, Wilt? What was it? What were you saying?
Help me. He needs some
Yes.
pickup lines.
20,000 of them.
20,000.
20,000 of them.
Well, baby.
Terry. Terry. yeah. Woo!
Go ahead of me.
Vincent,
Now go ahead of me.
go ahead of you.
Yep, you made me mad.
Babe Ruth.
That's interesting. We all pick players that are not with us anymore.
Babe Ruth. I love the. I just like. I think he was a happy-go-lucky guy.
Interesting.
He just stepped on the field and whatever. I'm just going to throw the ball to the plate. If they hit it, fine. If they don't, that's fine. Like he just kind of went through life like, whatever. I think he was fun. I like to watch old videos of him. Like, I like kids. You guys know I like kids. And I love seeing him like interact with kids and stuff. Like there's a lot of video of him from back in the day where he's interacting with kids.
Handing
And I
out
just think
cigars.
it's pretty cool that he did that. Plus, back in the day, those dudes would get lit.
They would.
And they would come to the stadium at 1 o'clock the next day and play ball.
It was. Double header.
Yeah, shit.
Double header.
And like that camel fur.
Yeah. All right.
Heavy unit.
All right, son. Wrap the show up with this. Go ahead.
Your mic.
You need my mic?
Yes.
No, give me my mic.
What's the question?
Kenny
Question
Pickett.
is,
It's gonna be
you can
Kenny
talk
Pickett.
to anybody
Kenny
from
Pickett.
sports in the history, dead or alive. Who would you like to have a conversation with?
I would like to have a conversation with probably Vince Lombardi.
Why?
He's just a big inspiration to me, and I'm named after him.
Yeah, you are.
And you guys found out you were having me You got pissed drunk, I heard. You got pissed drunk on the Super Bowl. Steelers, 09. Yep. Santonio Holmes with that beautiful catch. Yeah.
Cardinals.
What's up, Holmes?
I got this, Bussy.
You only lost one.
Who was that again?
One, right? We're 6-1.
No, 2.
We shouldn't have lost that one.
Lost to
Oh,
Dallas
Dallas.
in 95.
I tried to block it. Dallas
Shouldn't
went
have
out.
lost that one either.
No.
Hey, second half of that Super Bowl, I drank a fifth of whiskey. I don't remember the end of that
What'd
one.
you drink the first half? 2/5.
The other fifth.
He slowed down.
We haven't had a linebacker like Kirkland since.
Nah.
He was like 300 pounds.
Oh, he's like
Now he's
4.
like 450 now.
He could move, and
We might draft one out of the same school this year.
he was hurdling.
Out of Clemson,
Clemson?
that boy.
He
I think they'll
he
take
was
Jack Campbell.
270.
He's not
I could
a
see-
linebacker.
I could-
He's a D.
Kevin, I
D
could
guy.
easily
Who?
see the
Three
Steelers taking
percent?
Jack Campbell first round.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
No.
What did he say?
No.
I could easily see the
Campbell
Steelers
first
taking Jack
round.
Campbell first round.
No.
Not first round.
That 30
Oh,
second pick.
32nd pick. I can see.
Yeah.
I can go
yeah.
with that.
Yep.
I can live with that.
Tell them your social media.
At Terry Young, at one. I don't even know. At one young Terry.
Okay.
At
Waddy?
At Coach K. Watt. Twitter.
Ross Shizzle.
At Rasheen Hill.
Eminem lover.
At Yinzer Rips.
He listens to it. Don't let him fool you.
_ Rips.
There you go. Hey, check us out. Our pod pages are actually our website. It's podpage.com, Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maradei, all one. Like our Facebook page, OSP with Eminem. Find us on Twitter at OSP with Eminem. Follow us on Instagram at Original Sports Podcast. Our Snapchat, OSP with Eminem. Our TikTok and YouTube, our Original Sports Podcast. Feel free to let us know if you have any comments, questions, suggestions. If you just want to know what the hell's going on with
Or
us, 'cause
nachos. If
we're
you have
having
any nachos.
He needs nachos. If you just want to come out and join us, we're having fun. Email us at
baseball stadium.
originalsportspodcast at
Nachos.
gmail.com. Hey, thanks to Andrew Klein, the GM of the Independent League Frederick team and the Frederick Keys. It was pretty awesome that he took the time to stop and talk with us. Andrew's a great guy. Come out and support these guys if you live in the area, or if you're coming through the area. Come out and support these guys. You can't go wrong. It's a lot of fun. Thanks to Shawn Antkowiak for doing our voice intro, our intro and outro music by my boy Charlie Hodgson, who will be joining us soon to play a little music a couple of times during the show. Our webmaster, Terri Maradei. Join us each week to experience the O on the Original Sports Podcast.
We got a nice view of the cemetery.